Joe, and welcome back, my lovely little Zeds. Today we are jumping into a game called Tiny Bunny Prologue. I was, just scrolling through Steam to see what intense horror, thriller, games I could find, and this one just kind of popped up for me, and it was under free to play, so hey, shout out to Steam. Gotta love those free to play games. I think according to Steam over here, let me see real quick. For this game, they're planning to release the game in 5 episodes. This, I guess, being one of the first ones out for us to play and enjoy. It's supposed to be, a fascinating horror story. So, I grew up loving horror and thriller type of things and movies, shows, games, all that kind of stuff. So, I'm just kind of looking for stuff like this and just want to see how this one turns out, and maybe if this one's good, I could check out the rest of the episode. So, without further ado, let's hop right on into this. Alright, let's go. Okay, so when I did first open the game, it is kind of loud. The music was all the way up, and here, I'll show you an example. That's pretty loud! Oh my god! So yeah, we're just gonna have to start that out kind of low, and then the sounds were a bit kind of much too, but we'll just adjust it as it goes. I do apologize in advance if it's a little bit too much. I think we should be okay. I can't imagine. Well, let's go ahead and adjust the voice down about here, maybe. A lot of sounds, music. Okay, yeah, I think this looks good. All right, here we go. At my window all night long. It wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. An endless song weaved from all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, sneery, twined in the air. They were shouting and laughing. And arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows that would occasionally creep close to my bed. Our house had a mind of its own, the creaky old mind of a building that had seen a lot in its days and was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark green thicket gazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, whizzing, swaying back and forth. Don't know if whizzing is correct there, but one could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves. There was nobody behind the crooked trees. Fuzzy silhouettes swaying in the wind couldn't possibly do any harm. It's just a play of light and shadow. Just a play. I knew it was just my imagination. I was already 12 after all. Still. Ooh, so like a fox or a raccoon right there? Very nice. Aww. Ooh, yeah, I'm liking the art of this. Hey, put away your book. Dang, Mom. How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look at how slouched you are. Dang. Strict Mama. Hide. Is there anything else I can do? Maybe pick her nose, get her to calm down. Maybe she has a booger stuck up all in there. Come on now, lady. It's all good. It's just a book. Can I do anything else? I think it's just hiding the book. Okay, yep, let's hide it. There we go. I didn't protest and put the book about Conan and the Barbarian aside. Ooh, Conan the Barbarian. I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyway. Ooh, Oya? I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but we're going to say Oya just to make it easy. Oya had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was so enthusiastic, she almost looked like your typical girl from commercials. You're not going anywhere until you finish it all. Oh, you're not going anywhere until you finish all of it. Sorry, I'm a dumb mom. I, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole in the plate with my eyes as if it would make the porridge disappear. Hazy anxiousness welled up inside, all because of the previous sleepless night, the black forest around our house, and the gloomy wind. The longer I waited, the colder the lumpy white substance became. It looked like a jellyfish from the Cousteau Odyssey. Okay, Cousteau Odyssey. I love that show. I wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is. Me too. I can't even imagine. Or how could the Black Forest is at night? Or how cold? Yep, English, Amanda. Or how cold the Black Forest is at night. The spoon fell out of my hand. Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes. Wait, let me go back. Oh. I was just curious. Okay. Oh, that's neat. Oh, that is so cool. So you can see what all has been said. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Okay, I was just curious. As I was saying, Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes. What did I just say? I'll get it. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge once again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this carved on the other side of the table? Karina. Ha! That's my mom's name. I guess she carved it out with something pointy when she was little. She sure was a rascal, damaging the furniture like that. She would scold me for a week if I did something similar, though. Should I remind her about it? No, she's been in a bit of a bad mood lately. I imagined her being my age, sitting under this table. I wonder was Mom afraid of the dark back then? Or the sounds coming from the attic? Or the thick forest? I imagined my grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of her bed, where Oya sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice. Oh yeah, I get to do grandma voice now. Taiga is a special place, little girl. It's watching you closely, sniffing you out, trying to discern what kind of beast you are. If you are a good sort, it won't abandon you in times of trouble. But if you are a bad apple, it'll grab you by the side and drag you under the ground. And that would be it. Grandma was caring. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. Those were the times without the maddening screams until late at night, without smashed dishes and mutual accusations, my goodness. Our parents used to love each other back then. I remember listening in on one of their conversations by chance. They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for her funeral. She had already bought a casket, and she called it her cute funeral box. It waited for its time in the closet patiently. It was black, upholstered with meat-colored material on the inside. I saw it when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive, only all the photos were gone. Glass-covered pictures with gray faces of my ancestors. They all had a dead but watchful look in their eyes. I crawled out from under the bed. Oh, bed, look at that. I crawled out from under the table. Oya was done with her cookies and was looking at my chair like a sly woodland critter. I turned my gaze towards the frosted window. There were a lot of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. The pattern of frost formed a picture on the glass. Oh yeah, look, it's a fox! Where? I can only imagine what the little girl would sound like, so we're gonna make her sound like that. Where? It looked almost like those optical illusion thingies they put on the back of student notebooks. A mixture of lines at first glance, but if you blur your vision a little bit and look under a certain angle... Not outside, on the window. Look, here's the nose, and here's... Hey, eat up! Yes, yes, just a moment. I don't see anything. Hurry up, there's not much left. Ah, there it is! But it still doesn't look like one. And I'm telling you, it does. Nuh-uh. It does. Stop it. These kids, I swear. Now I couldn't see the fox either. It disappeared. Went away. Only the frosty patterns, similar to stretched out nettle leaves, kept creeping up the glass. My dad entered the kitchen with long measured steps. I want to have a beard like his when I grow up. Mom would always ask jokingly, "Come on, shave it off, it stings." This was so long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors and witty comebacks were an everyday occurrence. Oya always covers her ears whenever she hears something like, "What's the point in all this?" through the wall. "It's all for your sake," Dad would reply, "for the sake of our family." I always caught every sound in fearing of hearing the most dreaded, the deadliest word that started with a D. D-I-V-O. I don't even want to finish it. Ooh, I know that feeling, buddy. Divorce is no fun. It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken into two different families. "Anyway, your fox says nothing. I have an owl on my window." Oh yeah, dad voice.
You and your owl talk again.
Oh my god, I can't. "You said you believed me just yesterday."
Has anybody seen my car keys? I remember leaving them on the windowsill.
Right. Maybe you did, and maybe not. You're a grown man, a father of two, and still.
Karina, please stop. Just let me get ready in peace.
Mom's kind of a bee. Your keys are in the basket near the phone.
Well, thank you very much. Anton, stop making a martyr out of yourself and finish eating already.
And the owl.
There was no owl.
But there was one. It had giant glowing eyes. Oya sprung up from the chair and placed her hands on her little face, imitating a pair of eyes with her fingers, the size of an apple. An apple each? Huh? An apple each. Hold on. Oya sprung up from the chair and placed her hands on her little face, imitating a pair of eyes with her fingers, the size of an apple each. Maybe I'm just not getting it. I'm sorry, I just don't know what that means. An apple each. I'll just say the size of an apple. There we go.
Last year you had Bye-Bye in your closet, and now this owl?
But I saw it. Oya shifted her gaze back and forth from Dad to Mom to me, but couldn't find any support.
Have you thought about befriending it? You know, like feeding it with imaginary mice?
Don't bully our girl. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's still little. Oya pouted her lips in rebellion and rushed into the hallway. The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Mom gave Dad a strict look. Ooh, look at that face. Look at that face. If that's not a mom pissed at her husband look, I don't know what is. God damn you, honey. That kind of look. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, that look in her eyes. It's so uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Dad just snorted in reply and left, ringing with the keys he'd just found. A minute had passed and this theme song from The Little Mermaid echoed through the house. Ooh. It was stored on incredibly worn out cassette tape, which Dad had already glued together once. It's so easy to fix objects by gluing them back together, for example. But how do you fix a relationship? Mom moved to the living room and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. Oya had trouble sleeping ever since we moved to this house. She would toss and turn or curl up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump up in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped to take her mind off all the troubles we had with the move and our parents.
Oh god, ew, what the oh my god, that's it. Don't think I like that.
And then Oya said she saw that giant flying monster outside her window. she became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of these ridiculous fears. Oya refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that owl was just one of her nightmares. After tonight, I was unsure what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be infectious? Just last night, I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking of what to expect in my new school. There were a couple of days left before the beginning of a new term. My imagination drew long, twisting hallways that led to a classroom full of kids, but all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures, cut out using a template. Circular holes gaped in the middle of their faces, and a pair of eyes blinked inside those holes. It was as if some completely different creature was looking at me from behind the flat black silhouettes. Their cruel glares, filled with icy sneers, made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they gang up on me and beat me down, stomp on me with their bloodied shoes? The damn school can burn for all I care. I just wish for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what. I didn't want to go there that badly. I didn't want to see people who were just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up, think of a new offensive name for me, worse than the previous one. I felt like the glasses I wore made me an outsider, or some sort of monster. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Oya begged me to hang them. But Oya begged me to hang them. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. The small circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagine Mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You've got the wrong number." Or, "Anton is not around." Anton is not around. I imagined my future classmates lying in their beds, just like me, listening to the howls of the howls of invisible werewolves outside their windows. Haven't read like this in a minute. Maybe my new classmates will like me after all. But who would ever like a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mom. The house creaked, pressed by the wind. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbor's drill, mumbled with a TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though I can't really call it new, was completely different. It was silent and easy, going during the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners, on the closet cobwebs, and under the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner, almost as if the old photos of my deceased family, with their ashen eyes, were hanging on the walls in place of my drawings. The floor was squeaking, rusting drains were moaning, the attic was occupied by noisy drafts. One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. And then I realized I was, in fact, hearing music. It was already playing for a good while. Somewhere at the edge of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed in with the sound of the wind, of the creaking old house, and my thoughts too. I stood up and rushed to the window. I wanted to reassure myself that this music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. It's not like someone is playing it there, amidst the cold snowy night, right? Should I open it? Maybe. Ooh, kitty! Hey, look! Is that... hey, is that Freddie Mercury? That kind of looks like it. Maybe that or Michael Jackson. Either way, either one would be perfect. That is so cool. I wonder if he drew that. I'm assuming he probably drew the kitty cat. Just taking a quick look through here. This looks really neat. I like the art, and kind of looks like an old-time movie with like the way the grains are and the lines, and like how it kind of looks burned up here, kind of all the way around. Like a film almost, like, you know, an old film. Okay. Well, I'm going to take a quick second to go get me a drink. Alright, let's open this. Ooh. Ooh, are those animals? Look at them out there dancing. Looks like we've got some bears, maybe a bird, fox even, deer, possibly. Alright. I really love the snow effect. Oh my goodness. This is really pretty, actually. Really artsy. Okay. Someone was dancing in the field. Black silhouettes I could barely make out, with the dark forest as their backdrop. They jumped around, basked in moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolled around and crawled on all fours. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind, but these were clearly not wolves. They stood upright at times, circled around holding hands and whipping up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment, and then coming back. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in the starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. What? Oh my god, the random music. Oh my god. But they stopped they're looking in our direction maybe, or maybe they're, well, because the tail is facing well, it could be either way. They're either looking out here or they're looking at us. I guess we need to find out. Suddenly, the music had stopped. The dancing shadows froze in place, and I could swear pierced me with their eyes. One of the silhouettes immediately parted from the bizarre shadow carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps.
Oh my god! God, no! Oh god, it's gonna get us. Whew. It glided on squeaky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. Thicker. Had to go get me a drink. My heart was jumping around like the bird inside a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back towards the bed. They saw me! A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted guests move around and scrape around, looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guest should be at the front door. I jumped into the bed and covered myself with a blanket as if it could protect me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remembered the funeral, my grandma lying there, hands crossed on her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a tin doll, ants running up and down the legs of chairs that held my grandmother's casket. I imagined those little creatures climbing up her head and pulling up her eyelids with their tiny legs. Then her wrinkly eyeballs would once again move inside their sockets and she'd be able to see her grandchildren. I was chanting the spell she taught me throughout the whole procedure. And now, lying under the blanket and listening to squeaks and howls, I was repeating the same words. Okay. On the island of Buyan, underneath the blemished sun, in the sea of color blue, stands a cabin made of wood. There lay lard and ashen hair for the spawn from Devil's Lair, to feast and always leave alone God's faithful servant named Anton. Evil leave this house must. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Bizarre sounds had disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from under the blanket and saw curtains waving around like a hangman. And then the night doused me with a new portion of boiling terror. The sound scratched at my eardrums. In reality, something or someone were scratching at the front door, hurriedly clawing at wood, demanding to be let in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the forest intently as if he was looking for someone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I hugged my knees, placing my chin between them, and drilled the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the might of darkness. And then... Oh no! Oh no! Oh, gotta keep going. Gotta keep breathing. Oh my god. Woo! Okay, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. Maybe it's mom. Maybe it's dad or sister. Whew. Okay. The doorknob twitched slightly. Then it turned halfway. Once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted once more and then started clicking violently. My jaw cramped from fear. My wet fingers clutched the blanket. The door creaked and opened. Oh god, I don't like this. Ooh, this is pretty good. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains. Now, you'll see. The door was wide open. The darkness writhed inside the carnivorous mouth of a doorway. Ooh, what voice can I use for this? Tony. It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and squeaking with rusty hinges. I was trembling, ensnared by the web of darkness that hung in the corners of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out of the gaping black hole. Tony. My abdomen tightened and my chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me, Tony, you asleep? Oh my goodness. My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. I almost screamed from relief. Oya, I'm not sleeping. Did something happen? Oya frowned and stuck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry. It's there again. Ooh, wait, little girl voice. It's there again, staring at me. Shoo her away, Tony, please. I'm so scared. The fear that was tormenting me just a minute ago crawled away and hid somewhere in my stomach. I needed to calm Oya down. It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's going to harm you. Oya sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me. But was I sure myself? I have an idea. Let's go to your room and watch the video Sleeping Beauty, for example. You like that cartoon, don't you? Why does the Sleeping Beauty have a prince and I have this scary bird? That question took me by surprise. Alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? What studied me with its eyes while dancing feverishly under the moon? The darkness was clinging to the window, and it couldn't be fooled by my grandma's old chants. It couldn't be satisfied with a feast of lard in long ashen hair. Tony, you coming? Yes, just a moment. Oh my god. So glad I have this YouTuber avatar. That scared the bejesus out of me. Oh my goodness. Oh, I think I just missed a line there. Let's go back for a second. Hope you up. So I guess just a moment, and then that stuff happened, and then it said, that's why I didn't want to laugh at Oya and her owl in the morning. Where's the part right here in just the middle where it says big creepy wolf thing comes at me? Like, cause that was intense. Oh my god. Okay, I'm liking this. Might definitely have to check out the other episodes for sure. Okay, take a quick drink. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's fine. We're good. Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here. So persistent. I felt extremely unsettled just from a silly thought that our morning guests could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet, under the table, behind the curtains where Oya always hides. Tony, come here! I felt like kettlebells were tied to my feet but still dragged them toward the hallway. A couple of policemen towered over me in the doorway. They smelled like frost and worry. My mom always winced and grumbled the moment she saw patrol cars, worse than bandits. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused. Hello? The senior officer, who wore a grim expression, nodded. A boy had gone missing yesterday. His name's Vova. Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held out a photograph to me.
He's a ginger... Oh, I thought I was going to say it's a ginger cat. Kind of makes me think of one of my cats, Buster Jr. He's a fluffy... He's got some fluff like this and long whiskers, fluff out of the ears. And, you know, pretty fluffy, cute kitty. Tiger stripes. But, yeah, anyways. There was a ginger boy around the age of elementary school, pictured with a wall carpet as the backdrop. He had a striped cat in his hands and wore a wide smile. No, I haven't.
Are you sure? Look closely.
Where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house.
Well, maybe you've seen him from the window.
That's right, your windows look straight at the forest, don't they? The window. No, I haven't seen anything.
I see.
He sounded tired, but his stare, long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwittingly under the weight of guilt, which his giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway, the stairway, and the cracks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some reason.
How do you like your new place, by the way? Getting used to it?
Bit by bit. It's just our little daughter misses the city a lot.
Misses the city, huh? Have the locals been treating you well?
Yes, everything is all right, thank you. Nosy policeman. The policeman pierced through me one more time with his gray eyes. My head started spinning. Can I help you somehow? I asked that in a shaky voice to look like a polite boy to end this unpleasant conversation sooner.
Now that I think about it, you look just like one of my nephews, little fella. He's a witty boy around your age. Wears the same type of goggles. Haha. Always engrossed in reading those mystery novels. Told me he wants to enroll in police school when his family visit this summer. Wanted to help other people, just like me, see?
It felt uncomfortable, as if a distant relative and not a police officer stood before me.
You know what? Little boys like you should stay at home. Steer away from trouble. The times have changed so much.
Mom interjected in a cold voice. You don't say.
Well then, what grade are you in, Tony boy?
6th.
Have you made any friends here so far?
Not yet. I'll be going to school for the first time after the break.
Then I'll leave you my number, just in case. Call me if you have any new info.
The policemen were gone along with their shadows, the smell of cheap cologne, and the photo of the smiling boy. His face still stood before my eyes. I wondered what it was like for him, being all alone, there. For some reason, I thought of the forest swaying in the wind. What did his poor parents feel? And what would my parents do if I'd gone missing? Would they cry and thrash around hysterically? Or would they accuse each other like they always do and forget about me eventually? Mom, this Vova, did he go missing in our forest? Seems like it, poor child. I looked out the window, at the road. The police UAZ drove off toward the village. The officer's nephew came to mind when I was splitting off old paint from the windowsill. I remembered all the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series I've read this summer. The average boys and girls investigated all sorts of mysteries there. They looked for clues, spied on suspicious people, and after a set of amazing adventures, BAM! Solved any complicated case. They became local celebrities and must have made their parents very proud. I noticed a trail of policemen's footprints that led to the forest. And then it clicked in my head. Why don't I start an investigation of my own? Maybe I'll find that lost boy, and I'll get a reward. Ooh, wow. I swear I'm dyslexic sometimes. And I'll get a reward. Oya will be so happy. And not only Oya, Mom and Dad too. Maybe they'll even forget about the Krolls for a while. Maybe I'll even save us from the D word. I fantasized about buying Oya a Tamagotchi and getting a cassette player and a bunch of tapes for myself. And a whole box of Kinder Surprise. When was the last time our parents bought us any toys? Last autumn, I think. My dad had lost his job at the time. There's that annoying song about it. I had little to no idea what was the accountant's job was like. They count money, I think. Neighbors used to envy us.
But nowadays, Mom and Dad barely had money to afford sweets, and Dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Oya. Sometimes I gave her my share too. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweets, she was still just a pipsqueak. Aww. I couldn't wait to go out, looking for clues. I'm going outside! Yeah, right. You want the place to go around with your photograph next? The forest is so thick. What if the boy got snatched up by wild animals or something even worse? Even worse, echoed through the hallway. I mean, Mom just kind of got a point. You and your sister are having these, like, weird dreams or, you know, instances where these creatures are coming at y'all with these dark, scary eyes. I don't know if I'd want to go out there either. I think I'm on Mom's side for this one. I won't go far. I'll stay away from the forest. Did you hear what I said, or should I repeat myself? Better go pack your school bag or play with Oya. The sound of splashing water came from the kitchen. It meant that the argument was over and Mom had the last word. You should just listen to her. Open to kitchen to front yard. Ooh, do I get to do a little bit of exploring now? Ooh. I don't know which one to do. I hate choices. This, I'm guessing, might lead to a basement. This is the kitchen. Let's just go in here for a minute. Can I talk to Mom? Oh, it was difficult to lie to Mom, but there was no other way for me to run away from home. Mom, something's wrong with the TV. The picture's dim and there's stripes all over the screen. Mom's face became visibly distorted. You're killing me here. So, have you had enough of shooting these stupid ducks now? Told you the Told you the kind scope will go dim because of your console. I have no idea if I said that right, but we're just gonna go with it. Where will we find a TV technician in this hole, huh? Maybe it's just the settings. Please go see for yourself. Strange, it worked fine this morning. Maybe the snowfall caused it? Mom rubbed her hands clean on her apron and went to Oya's room. Oh, I can open the fridge? Okay. Oh! Ooh! Amerkama of Russia has declared the state of emergency due to adverse weather conditions. According to the weather forecast, a cyclone is moving toward the region. Expect heavy snowfall, blizzards, and snowdrifts on the road. Keep your eyes open and take care of yourself. Cool. The decrepit and stain-covered calendar was once my favorite form of entertainment in Grandma's house. I remember waking up and running to the kitchen so I could tear off yesterday's leaf first thing in the morning, as if the coming day would get lost in the taiga forest without my help. One day closer to New Year's, one day closer to Grandma's funeral. I haven't touched this calendar for years now. Since the time they started writing dark and spooky death chants that only made me gloomy instead of funny proverbs and superstitions to be exact. I grabbed a dusty calendar leaf with caution and tore it off effortlessly. Sadly, the spooky descriptions from my childhood were still there. 7 horses carry the log. If 7 can't carry, bring the 8th from a ferry. They will take it away and never come back. This is the fate the log cannot escape. I crumpled the gray leaf and threw it into the waste bin, hoping to get rid of the anxiousness that washed over me. It was spreading inside me like an ink stain on a blotting paper. Okay, so that was neato. Can we click on that? I'm assuming we can do something with this. I took a peek at Mom's crossword. She would get very angry when someone gave her advice, so me and my dad faked knowing the answer and being about to reveal it all the time. I smiled at that fleeting thought. Vertical, 9 letters, the name of Philistine deity that protected them from viper bites and had a nickname, the Lord of Flies. Second letter is E. Same thing? Yep, okay. Just repeats. Oh. Ooh, I just picked something off of the fridge. I have no idea what that says, but we've got a date. 2337? Is it 1937? Or is that a code? 2337. No. So, Senior Lieutenant Tikhonov Konstantin Vladimirovich Telephone number. Oh, it's a telephone. Dang. 2337. Okay. Interesting. Is there anything else I can collect on here? What's this do? Maybe it's a hint. I'm guessing. Oh. What? Why does it want me to look at? I already looked at that. The eyeball points to the paper, but we already looked at it. Oh, okay, well, you know what? It don't matter. Let's open the fridge. Okay. I didn't even realize that said okay. I'm assuming that's not okay, but I said okay, and it makes me think that says okay. Okay, never mind. So what are they? I'm guessing this is Russian territory. I'm assuming. Monaco. Ooh, Daisy. I think I've seen cans of Monaco in that. I could be wrong. What's in here? Ooh, Grandma kept ice cream for me and Oya there, but now I could only see meat bits for soup and clumped together pelmeni. I grew to hate them already. Okay. Can't click anything else. Pickles? Butter? Is that butter? Or is that butter? That might be butter because there's a cow on it. Looks like maybe an orange or lemon. Some little bar. Don't know what that is. Medicine? Yeah, they got medicine in here and eggs on top. Okay. Alright. Well, I think we searched everywhere. Let's check this. Oh, it's just a closet. Okay. The dark, stuffy closet. Mom says it smells like mice, but how would she know their smell? She hates when I stick my nose in there. She's afraid I'll cut myself in the freshly sharpened axe. And Oya can't even be lured close to it. She thinks Baba is living there. I tried to help her fight her fears once. I opened the door and turned on a dim lamp so she could see there was nothing but cobwebs, Dad's tools, and scratched walls. She still didn't believe me. And I liked to hide in the closet and listen to Oya count outside. 1, 2... Oh wait, girl voice. And I liked to hide in the closet and listen to Oya count outside. 1, 2, 3... Better hide from me. And then drag her feet on the creaking floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the cramped monster's den. Aw, just like her brother to pick on the sissy. Ooh. This cross had seen so many people come and go in this house. It was black as if it absorbed all human sin from the long years it was hanging under the ceiling. After Grandma died, Mom was going to take it off and hang a horseshoe in its place as a lucky charm, but she cut herself with the cross sharp corner and almost fell from the stepladder. Dad called it a sign from above and ordered the cross to be left alone in its rightful place. Good. Mom's peg top, a family relic. My mom played with it when she was little, then she gifted it to me. Oya was next in the succession line. The toy belonged to her now. She stared at the dancing spindle as if it could show her something, a fairy tale, or maybe even our future. Now even my little sister was a bit too old for the old squeaky peg top. Interesting. Can I phone. Sometimes I would just pick up the phone, listen to the low hum of the zoomer and the distant crackling, imagining the wind howling and the ice lead into chords. About anything else? Don't think so, and I don't think I can go anywhere else. Guess we're sneaking out, y'all. We're sneaking out. Birdies. This is so pretty. Like, look at the strokes on this art. So pretty. So simplistic, too. Things that are so simplistic, like, you know, looks like just a quick stroke right here on the wood, but it makes it look like freaking snow at the same time. Like, this is such a good artsy looking game. Okay. I opened the front gate and went into the field. Carefully, so Mom wouldn't see me from the window. When I crossed half of the distance toward the forest, the snow piles became as high as my knees. I remembered my nightly fears. I saw those silhouettes around here. They were jumping around, holding hands. That hypnotizing music started playing in my head all on its own. In the light of day, those distant figures felt like a simple dream. The sun turned my nightmares to ash, but the aftertaste was still there, distant ringing in my ears. Distorted shadows crawling on the snow alongside me. And a barely audible whisper in my head, blurry and almost kind. Everything was silent. So silent. I felt like the world was totally empty. look at this. Oh, but I mean, okay. No ground, no sky, no parents, no Oya. The time reached its limit, a one-way trip that ended at the forest Piney stockade. Sometimes silence was much scarier than any scream. Our parents would scream at each other while arguing, and both me and Oya turned to stone listening to them. But then always came the ringing silence. Out apartment became numb a couple of days before we departed. I think it meant to say our apartment became numb a couple of days before we departed. It was hard to remember the last time Mom and Dad joked around, laughing or spent time together, almost like all of it was in a previous life. When they kissed with Oya present, she always frowned and snorted in a funny way. But one day it all changed. Something important had left our home, and something scary filled the remaining void. It was as if a fire broke up It was as if fire broke up and our parents were hurriedly packing our belongings, trying to save themselves and us. From who, though? From the people with dead cold eyes who sometimes visit us in our previous home? The eyes that only saw balls of worms in the black ground. The eyes that only saw balls of worms on the black ground and everything. Okay. I want to say that meant to say background, but we'll just go with it. Okay. And somewhere far away, a siren was going off, trying to warn us of the coming menace. I shuddered, chasing away my delusions, and looked around. There were only me, the white field, and the wind that was whipping my icy dust in belts of powdered snow. I squinted from the sun and turned my eyes to the sunless forest. It looked especially dark in contrast with the blinding whiteness. Knobby tree roots slithered under the snow like fat snakes. Rotten leaves and coniferous needles frozen to the ice. Oh, there's a glove! There's a glove! Dry, prickly branches intertwined, bringing up uncomfortable thoughts about fences. Were they protecting the forest? Or were they keeping something from breaking out? Some object was hanging from one of those pointy branches. I tried to get closer, drowning in snow, and when I almost got to the edge of the forest, I saw a knitted mitten. It looked like a wounded bird among the hungering semi-dark. Should I take it to the police? Their senior officer looked gloomy, but he still reminded me of Captain Casanova from my favorite TV show called The Streets of Broken Lights. He was always anxious, with a tired look in his eyes, but still brave and strong. Will this man help them find the lost boy? Father! I heard a distant shout. Looked like it came from the river. Ooh, that background scream. Ooh. Fova. As if the trees were calling out to someone. Fova. Resounded closer to me. Someone was standing there behind the trees, hiding. Okay, so they are saying the kid's name, Vova. Wow. I knew someone was looking for the lost boy, but still, something was unsettling about that figure. Its stillness, how it was bent unnaturally toward the ground. Where's this figure at? Is it gonna friggin' run up and scare the bejesus out of me? Oh boy. I don't see a figure, just the glove, but let's see. It's blackness. There's no one there, just branches and roots. It's all just my imagination. A nearby bird flapped its wings loudly. Oh! Oh god, no, there's someone there. A shadow split from the tree and disappeared from my sight. I looked away for just a moment, but when I turned my gaze back to the same place, it was gone. So, it was my imagination, after all. Yep, you keep telling yourself that, little man. Silence reigned for a painfully long time. How about you grab it and run, boy? Or don't even grab it. Just go. Just run. My muscles were tightly sprung. My heart was beating somewhere in my throat. Any noise, any little movement, any small whisper from the thicket, and I'd sprint. But nothing of the sort happened. I looked at the mitten once more. Oh, no.
Am I gonna run away or am I gonna take it? If I run away, but he wants to become the kid who finds the missing boy and, you know, maybe get his parents to chill and love each other again. So, should we do the eeny, meeny, miny, mo? How about we do the eeny, meeny, miny, mo? And if it works out, then it works out. Or I just do the opposite of what it chooses. Let's just, okay. I'm not gonna look for a second, or I'm just gonna close my eyes. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by its toe. If it falls, let it go. My mama always told me to pick the very best one, and you are it. Okay. I think we should take it. I think we should go with the eeny, miny, mo, even if I said that wrong, or sang it wrong, or did it wrong. Let's just do it. Let's take it. Let's see what happens. I decided to take the lonely mitten from the branch. Oh! Oh no! Oh no, what have I done? What have I done? Oh no, what have I done? What have I done? They're gonna get my ass. Father! They're gonna get me, aren't they? Someone's gonna get my ass. Yep. A shout rumbled across the field and dissolved into the distance. No echo, no hope for a reply. Oh god, oh god. What's gonna happen? Oh god. Oh god. I stepped towards the bristly trees and tried to claim my find. Oh god, it didn't budge. I pulled harder, the branch cracked and the mitten tore off, landing in my hand with a squishy sound. All too heavy, wet. I squeezed it without thinking, and something dark spilled from it, forming a tiny string between the mitten and the snow. Steam rose from the snow pile. Is it blood? It's blood. It's freaking blood. Oh god. I froze in place, studying my palms in disgust. Red. The sound of cracking branches invaded the silence. I'm gonna get swept up, aren't I? I didn't have to think twice before running away. Someone was chasing me from the darkness, breaking pine branches, closing the distance with giant leaps. Snow was slowing me down. Crazy thoughts flew through my mind. I'll get caught. They'll get me. I'll get dragged into the thicket. I'll be gone forever. But there was one more voice, probably one of reason. It gave me strength, spurred me on. You can do it. Don't stop. I heard an animal roar behind me. Oh shit. It was so loud my ears went numb. It felt like the sound had come from a pack of hungry beasts rather than a single one. Their nostrils sucked in freezing air. They sensed my fear. Two giant wings flapped above my head. An enormous shadow flew over the clearing. A hoot. A wheeze. The roars were coming from all directions now. From the dried up raspberry bush, from twisted pines from under the windfall. I might have to start talking louder. My goodness, those little background noises are kind of loud. Hurry! Run! Don't look back! It felt like I was inside a nightmare. The snowy clearing became a vicious like quicksand. I was stuck in place. I pulled my leg from the mushy trap just to be caught in a new one, even deeper than before. I continued to drown, sinking deeper and deeper with every desperate push. Was snow ever this sticky? I screamed in horror after realizing this wasn't snow. Someone or something in the snow pile was clenching my pants. I gathered all my strength and rushed forward. The pressure on my leg was gone. My boots slipped out of the hole and my soles were on a hard surface again. I reached a clear path with one jump, and from there ran to my house. Woo! Thank God. It's gloomy facade didn't look threatening now. The house was my line of defense from the shadows that flapped their wings and the creatures that were hidden under the snow. I tripped over the door, snapped, and smashed into the door. In all my hurry, I still managed to know the claw marks, as if a dog was striking the wood with its paws, demanding to be let in so it could escape the cold. I hadn't noticed these marks when I was leaving. The heartbeat in my ears was much louder than my surroundings. I couldn't hear whether someone was following me or not. What if they were already in our front yard and Mom had locked the door? Drowning in fear, I pulled on the doorknob and it immediately gave way. Thank goodness. Oh, goodness. That was intense, little man. Whew. I rolled into the hallway and shut the door behind me. Porch planks creaked as my pursuers ascended the stairs. My finger slipped off the lock and I couldn't click it into place. I gritted my teeth and pulled hard on the iron knob, whipping it between the boards.
I stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing on the other side of that pitiful, flimsy barrier that was probably less useful than blankets. A wheezing breath reached into the house and crashed at me in waves. It smelled of pine and sweat. Mom peeked out of the kitchen and chastised me with the same frigid voice she always used when talking to Dad. What exactly didn't you understand when I told you to never slam the door? I didn't mean to. I snuck a glance at the door. The smell was gone, and the breath was too. If there was someone there in the first place, of course. Here, mere 5 meters away from Mom, my fear was slowly weakening, melting like snow in spring, and with it the last bit of strength I had left in my body too. My legs gave way. I propped myself up against the wall so I wouldn't fall over. Mom's expression had changed immediately. The cold mask of strictness and detachment was gone. Mom looked the same as before all those quarrels. She finally saw my condition, my wet pants, plastered with snow. Where have you been? What did I tell you, huh? I told you to stay home. Am I nothing to you? I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her like when I was very little and wanted her to cuddle me. But Mom regained her composure fast and put on her usual face. Her eyes shined like steel and her voice rang out. Your dad can't find his cigarettes. Be honest, did you snatch them? Were you smoking in secret? There was someone chasing me. I thought... I stuttered as soon as I started explaining myself. Tears welled up in my eyes. Mom leaned toward me and sniffed my clothes like a bee searching from the smell of tobacco. Then she squinted her eyes in suspicion and looked into the front yard. Her expression changed in an instant, and she covered her mouth with her hand. Look! Over there! At the fence! My heart started thumping as if I became prey once again and my pursuers were following me in the field. I could swear that I heard something scratch at the door, just like in my nightmare. Mom beckoned me with her finger, and I gathered all my remaining bravery to look into the kitchen window facing my fear. I could barely discern some hairy silhouettes swimming in snow through the icy patterns in the glass. Dogs! Just a small pack of strays with no name and owner, barely reminding me of the hungry monsters that live on the edge of the forest. Oh boy, were you scared of them? I think they'd rather be scared of you, Anton. They were chasing me like a bunny. And what if they were rabid? The smile had slowly disappeared from my mom's face. Now she looked at the dogs as if it was her first time seeing them. What if they attacked Oya? What if they attack Oya? Mom? I wish your dad could just shoot them all. Mom, look, they're alive. Huh? What? Are they your friend or foe after all? Make up your mind. You're not a little kid anymore. Mom sighed in annoyance, and I felt so bitter that I bit my lower lip and fixed my gaze on the cobweb-ridden corner. Well, some detective I am. In reality, I wasn't risking my life among monsters, but rather my pants among a pack of stupid strays. And what for? What use do I have for this? Mitten. Of course! A dark and sticky mitten that belonged to the lost boy made a squishy sound in my hand. Seems like I was clutching it the whole time. That's my trump card as a detective. I hurried to present this clue to my mom. Mom, look, this is Vova's mitten, the boy the police were asking about in the morning. It's drenched in blood. I found it hanging on a tree. I can show where. Let's call the police right away, like the officer had told us to. Mom, look. Ew! A shadow of doubt slowly crept onto Mom's contorted face, as if she was trying to remember something distant, like someone tries to remember their dream, but the images slip away. Stop at this moment. Oya will go insane if she hears you. She already has trouble sleeping and whines all the time. And you joke around like this? At that moment, I realized the mitten was actually wet from snow. Oh my gosh. It was wet from snow. There was no blood whatsoever. I wanted to sink through the floor from embarrassment. Come here, my boy, who cried wolf. Oh, don't just stand there. Come take your pills. A golden-colored pill, reminiscent of a dead wasp, fell into my palm. I already took one during breakfast. Don't talk over me. I told you to stay home, and Dad would have given you a good whipping for that. Come on, take it or you won't be able to sleep at night, and you have school tomorrow. So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drinking it down with similarly awful water that gave off a taste of chlorine. Maybe it wasn't Vova's mitten. Maybe it wasn't a mitten at all. Just like the forest monsters and Oya's owl. Am I going mad? What's happening to me? Either the pill had an immediate effect or my overexerted brain didn't let fear inside anymore. Serenity washed over me, bringing yawny indifference along with it. Anton, you done? See, you can do it when you try. Take off your coat. Are you asleep? No, Mom, I was just thinking. What about, I wonder? It's just something silly. Mom scrutinized me with a suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Mom scrutinized me with suspicious eyes, as if she wasn't sure she was looking at her own son and not some doppelganger that came from the forest. Is everything all right? You had the exact same expression when the policeman asked you about the window. I'm all right, Mom. She heaved a deep sigh. Fine. It seemed like the house had changed. The sofa's fabric had become discolored. Fingerprints appeared on the bathroom tiles. The light bulbs also felt different, dimmer and yellower. Even the saliva inside my mouth had a different taste. A melody from Aladdin could be heard from the upper floor. Oya was done rewatching her favorite Little Mermaid episodes and switched to the other tapes. I slowly changed into my home clothes, stopped before the sink, and studied my reflection in the mirror like I was trying to solve one of those spot the different puzzles. Then I went upstairs. Oh my gosh, is that Aladdin in Russian? Oh my god, if someone could tell me if that's Aladdin in Russian and Jafar and Iago talking in Russian, that would be pretty cool. Jafar's and Iago's voice died down. I walked past Oya's bedroom and slipped into my own. Alright, now we can look at his room in a little bit more in the daylight. Oh, come on, someone tell me what this is. I want to say it's Queen, but I could be wrong. Or not Queen, sorry, Freddie Mercury. I just lumped them as Queen. There's Kitty. There's a bed. Light. Book. Oh. Monsters, Ghosts, UFOs. The Encyclopedia of Paranormal Phenomenon from Rossmann Publishing. I've learned about the Loch Ness Monster, Medusa Gorgon, and Bigfoot from there. Oya's always scared of the book. She could barely handle sifting through the monster and alien sections with me, but the middle part where they start to talk about ghosts really freaked her out. I even remember hunting ghosts after I'd read that book. I measured the distance between items on my table every evening and checked if they moved due to some supernatural force. Come the morning. Oh, okay. Okay. They didn't. But to be honest, what was I expecting? To meet Casper the ghost? Trash. Hallway. Can't do anything up here. Light. Dinosaur. I know all about all sorts of dinosaurs. Velociraptors. Oh my god, I am not going to be able to say these. Afrovenators. We're just going to go super southern with this. Hypsilophodonts. I remember going to the movies to see Jurassic Park back when we still lived in the city and taking pictures with the T-Rex in the hall. It turned its head and roared. It was awesome. And next to it was a Robotech Transformer. I love this cartoon. When a jet fighter speeds up in the intro among the sounds of blaster fire, you know your next 20 minutes will surely be amazing. Then, what is this? Zentradi Space Station is captured. Okay. Rick, get ready for battle. The kid is so imaginative. I love it. Okay. The forest didn't look as grim during the day. Entangled trees in the distance and the snowy field between our house and the forest brought sleepiness in my eyes. But sometimes I could still catch myself looking into the window at the icy treetops instead of doing my homework. I've dreamt of becoming an artist since Dad bought me my first comic book. Fly magazine was the coolest. I especially liked the Big Space related edition with alien monsters and that funny episode about a gendarme. I started drawing all kinds of stuff since that day, and I seem to be getting pretty good at it. One of my letters even got published in Fly once. Maybe someday they'll even publish my comic? Okay. My best works. Books. Paints. Cup of coffee. What How strange. I remember moving this curtain. Oh, it's his sister. Oh my god. It has to be a sister. That has to be a sister right there. Yeah, she's got to be hiding in there. Right? Can't think of anybody else who'd be friggin' right there. Jeez Louise, I guess we're just gonna ignore it, right? Okay. One of the drawers was empty. I hit the policeman's phone number along with the mitten there. The simple action drained the last bit of strength from me. I sat on the bed, and only then I noticed there was someone behind the curtains. My tired hand dropped to the sheets. Whether it was due to medication I took or the stress I underwent, the room began to contort, as if the wind was blowing the walls out like a pair of sails. The room's corners bent and undulated. I don't know what that is. The only stable thing in the whole room was a figure between the windowsill and the curtains. A flimsy piece of cloth was stuck to my hidden visitor, just like a savant of sorts. Oya? Who else would be standing there? I stood up and licked my dry lips. Yeah, Oya, it's so funny. The silhouette was unmoving. Ooh, what if it's not Oya? Maybe it's Vova. Or maybe it's his grandma. She'd be very short. Who knows what it could be? Let's find out. It was enveloped softly by the curtains, as if there was a thick layer of darkness there, not a human being. I reached towards the curtains. But beat my heart, controlled by medication. The wind sang in the field with a chorus of voices. For a second, I wanted to return to bed, just lie down and watch the person behind the curtain, knowing full well they were looking back at me. They're looking without blinking, waiting for me to fall asleep. Plastic rings rustled against the holder when I pulled open the curtains. Gotcha! I knew it was you from the beginning. She's so cute. Poor little thing. Got all this stuff going on. There's some creepy stuff happening in their area, their home, and the freaking woods, and these flying creatures and stuff. My goodness. A blindingly bright halo lit up above Oya's head with the setting sun as the background. My sister was shining. When she was just a baby, Dad always used to say she was shining with happiness. I always retorted, but Dad, she's not some flashlight. But I brought her to the window one day and sunlight poured on her smiling face. I felt like I was holding a child woven from light. I saw everything. Oh, really? What did you hide? She was just like my mom when she was little, before she put on her sad mask of tiredness and switched to her commanding tone of voice. It's nothing, just... Oya ran up to the table, her eyes round, and asked, You stole something and hid it there? Are you a thief? What? Don't be stupid. I didn't steal anything. A clear image came to mind, that mitten hanging from a tree branch. What if I did steal it after all? From the forest, from the tilted figure standing behind the black trees. Oya could be selfish and stubborn when she wanted. Then show me. Swear that you won't tell anyone, then I'll show you. Oya wore a plotting smile. Cute. She's so cute. Look how cute with her blonde ass hair. Love it. I swear on Mom's heart. An oath she heard in one of the movies about the pioneers we've watched. Don't say things like that. Oya nodded and made a gesture with her hand, locking her mouth with an imaginary key. She was filled with curiosity that was splashing in her giant eyes. I opened the drawer and Oya leaned in, holding her breath. It looked like there was not just a simple mitten, but some sort of exotic critter. Is this someone's mitten? She said that as if she couldn't understand what she saw. A certain boy lost it, and got lost himself. Now, do you understand how dangerous it is for kids to wander into the forest, right? He must be really cold out there. Will they find him? They will. The police are going house to house, showing his photo to everybody. Oya traversed the room with care and pressed her tiny palms against the window. And why are they going to houses and not the forest? Are they scared? The question caught me off guard. The police aren't scared of anything. Yeah, right, flashed in my clouded mind. Did they really check every nook and cranny where darkness, cold, and whispers of icy branches dwell? If that's the case, how did they miss the mitten? Or did it appear later? For me? I changed the topic, as if trying to get Oya as far as possible from the forest thicket. We may get a reward if I go and find the boy by myself. A lot of stuff like in Field of Wonders. Sounds cool, right? Oya wasn't listening to me. She was piercing the forest with incredibly adult eyes, uncharacteristic of her. What if the owl got him? Nonsense, an owl won't be able to lift a human. But you know what? I was picking my words with utmost care. I forced them out of my overexerted brain. Stay away from the forest. I think it's, how should I put it? It's cursed or something. Just like a fairy tale? No, not like that. More like in that spooky tale Mom and Dad are hiding from us. Oya shivered and stole a glance at the window. I saw you running away. Someone was chasing you? No, it's just I was hurrying back home so Mom wouldn't be worried. As I looked at my sister, my heart was tearing apart. She was so fragile. It was so easy to stifle her light. A gust of wind and her small fire would be gone. You're lucky. Mom won't even let me go outside. I'm like a princess in the tower. Can't go anywhere. I'll die from boredom here. You're wrong. No one has ever died of boredom. You have me and your cartoons, and and Dad will be good to each other soon. And you know what I would wish for on my next birthday? I'd wish for Mom and Dad to turn into children so we could go and play together like we used to. Yeah, and if you'd make them as small as bugs, we could place them in a little box. Oya giggled and tugged at my sleeve. Tony, let's go watch Aladdin. Fatigue went over my desire to be with my little sister. I was washed over by some sort of heinous apathy. I'm too tired. I don't want to. Come on! It's so boring alone and Mom is always busy. We can pick a cartoon you haven't seen before. A cartoon. I know all of our tapes by heart at this point. Not all of them. You haven't watched Peter Pan? Remember how you fell asleep in the middle of it? And so much happens after that. Let's go. Maybe a bit later. Dude, just go. Kid, go play with your sister. Or she's gonna run out there in the forest by herself. I just have a feeling. Should I tell you how it ends? Let's leave that for tomorrow. I won't tell you tomorrow. I know. Let's play hide and seek. No, Oya. Then draw me a dino. Oya, please. Draw it. Will you leave me alone already? I blurted out without thinking, and then I was immediately taken aback. I've never screamed at my little sister like that. Oya stared at me in shock. Her lips started trembling, a precursor to tears. My chest was seething with disgust and embarrassment. What's happening to me? I hurried to prevent Oya from crying. All right, you win. Let's go watch cartoons for a bit. I don't wanna. I came up to her, put my hand on her soft head. Let's go. Let's go watch Peter Pan. Boo! You'll fall asleep again. I smiled and lifted her chin. Her eyes were wet and felt bottomless. I promise I won't. And I'll draw you a full Triceratops later. Hooray! Triceratops! She's so adorable. I hope nothing happens to her. Well, close enough. Oya rubbed her eyes with a sleeve of her pajamas, and a shining smile returned to her face. I'll go ask Mom for condensed milk and bread, and you rewind the tape. The bread is fresh, just like how you like it. All right, just be careful not to spill the milk, or you'll be yelled at again. Wanna bet I won't spill it? The tape is somewhere in the nightstand. Look for it. Oya disappeared into the doorway, and I dragged my feet into the neighboring room. Oh, now we get to go into her room. Quick drink break. I take a drink, and my avatar's mouth stays open, but there's nothing there. Reading does make you thirsty. Oh, hey, look,
I was gonna say that's the Alvin and Chipmunks. Dang me, that is so incorrect. But I forget what they are called. I know who they are, just it's like lost in my brain. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's explore her room a bit. There's a box up here, nothing. Closet, nothing. Slinky, nope. This, nope. How about this? Nope. This, nope. How about that? Nope. This, nope. Curtains, windows. Click, 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 click. What did I just do? Oya keeps curtains open during the day, but as soon as the twilight comes, she shuts them tight so she wouldn't see the pair of hungry eyes outside. Smart. Piggy bank? A piggy bank. Oya is saving money for a real puppy because Dad said that taking care of him will take a lot of money. Aww. Damn, Dad, just give her a goddamn doll. Sewing machine. What is that, little Teletubby down there? I don't know. Ball. A puppy. Bed. Oh my god. Oya's countless toys. An old teddy bear is the main attraction here. Oya doesn't sleep without it, and she digs her nose into its fur when she sleeps. So sweet. I think that's pretty much it in this room. Okay, let's turn it on. Ooh, look at that reflection. I swear to God, if there's a reflection in there, I swear, besides him, I'm gonna lose it. The old photon TV was gathering dust in the corner. Definitely an old ass TV. All that was left was clicking the button on the front panel. The tube warmed up and familiar white noise started dancing on the black screen. Oh! Warning, warning, flashing on your face, my god. I almost reached out to turn on the VCR when the noise calmed down and a blurry image appeared for a moment. Oh shoot. It was a dark taiga forest, just like the one outside my window. The picture split the screen in half. That is creepy as hell. Something creepy resembling human speech was coming out of the speaker. Dang, little voice, let me talk first. Just a few moments later, the scenery was again overshadowed by noise. Did it catch some rogue signal? Local TV station only really showed Soviet cartoons, and even that was pretty rare. And only just recently, I used to always watch Robotech before school. It was so awesome. Maybe I should tinker with the antenna? What if I catch this channel again? On the other hand, Oya had asked me to find the tape. It wouldn't be nice to disappoint her. But in my sleepy state, I didn't have the strength to do all that. Just fucking find it, dude. Just find it. Wow. VHS, right? Yeah, VHS. Look at these little hippos. I found the tape I needed thanks to its shabby spine. Oh, I didn't even look at everything else. God dang it. I got the black rectangle from its box. The tape inside it rustled while rewinding to the beginning. This rustle was lulling me to sleep. Drowsiness attacked me while I was squatting before the TV. Images whirled in my head. Me and Oya, flying above the forest, tumbling in the soft clouds. My little sister is laughing, but her smile becomes more and more forced with every passing second. I noticed that the clouds underneath us apart, bearing the bristly pine tops. Swampy darkness slipped among the trees. The wings are no longer able to hold us and Oya. You haven't started without me, have you? My sister brought the tray with unevenly cut bread and a whole can of condensed milk. I rubbed my eyes. No, come sit. Mom and Dad are arguing again. They're going through rough times. Rough times are lame. On the screen, Wendy was hiding Peter Pan's shadow in the dresser. Oya was entertained by the cartoonish dog Nana. Maybe Mom and Dad will buy us a dog too? Yeah, right. I'll have my own dog in the Neverland, and a cat, and a parrot. Oya smeared a slice of bread with a thick layer of condensed milk and handed it to me. Have you lost all your baby teeth? Obviously. Oya frowned, deep in thought. Peter Pan has baby teeth.
What if they won't let you go to his land with adult teeth?
We'll think of something.
We'll ask Dad to alter your age in the passport.
And why would Dad forge documents? Oya took a bite from the sandwich and started talking with her mouth full.
Hey, Will! I heard Mom that did that before.
You'll grow ears as big as Dumbo's. Oya got word and touched her ear. I smiled to myself. My little sister was silent now. She just devoured bread, watching the adventures of Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and James Hook. As if she got sucked into the fairy tale Neverland. To be honest, I also imagined myself there in a land where no one ever ages, where no one argues over little things, where no one listens to fights and the sound of broken plates at midnight. It felt like I was dreaming with my eyes still open. Then my sister's scream pulled me back to reality.
Tony, shut the curtains fast!
Why? No one's watching you. Oops, sorry, going back and forth. I was starting to get their voices mixed up.
It's dark, and when it's dark, the owl comes. I'm scared.
I got out of bed, fighting my drowsiness, and closed the curtains. I did my best not to look outside toward the treetops, toward the taiga forest, which seemingly drew closer and closer. Of course, it was just a visual effect from shadows of branches scraping the snow.
Tony, Mom thinks I made the owl up. And Dad, too, thinks I'm a liar since I'm small. But the owl exists. Honestly, it does. You do believe me, right? That it comes every night and...
I swiftly grabbed Oya's hand and looked her in the eyes. I was trying to transfer at least some sort of my courage and determination. Did I really have those qualities? Yes, I believe you, alright? Just don't nag our parents about it anymore. They're already dealing with a lot, so they'll just get mad at you. Come and tell me if anything happens, and don't look out the window.
But it wants me to look.
It doesn't matter. Act like it doesn't exist. It never existed, like it's made up, just like Mom and Dad say. It'll get tired of waiting and fly away. It was madness, but after everything that's happened recently, I was more and more inclined to believe Oya's owl existed. We followed Peter Pan's adventure as if nothing had happened, as if the forest didn't kidnap kids, as if our parents weren't tearing each other apart bit by bit. Captain Hook was running away from a crocodile, and Captain Pan was headed to London on a gilded sailboat. By some miracle, I lasted longer than my little sister. Oya's eyelids had dropped. She started snorting lightly, resting her chin on the side of the bed. I stood up and left Oya's room. I was looking out the window, studying the field, when Mom peeked into my room. Enough playing around. It's your first day at school tomorrow. Go to bed. You should sleep properly. You don't want to be teased for being sleepy, right? She's such a bee. Adults think everything is so simple, as if sound sleep would ensure my classmates would like me. I covered myself with a blanket up to my neck and listened to the house humming, to something invisible rustling in the corners. My inner voice had a question for me. Do I want to hear that mysterious flute again? Yes or no? Maybe it's just part of growing up and I can't fully understand my own desires. The forest wailed behind the barrier that was my walls. Some ethereal entity wandered the fields. Branches shook as if calling for me. The wind howled on in the night. My thoughts were like annoying flies that entered my head before becoming weak and tangled. I didn't notice how I fell into slumber. Hey, thank you for completing episode 1 of Tiny Bunny. Did you enjoy it? Yes. Do you want to know what happens next? Yes. We're already working hard on the continuation of the story. Yes. Well, that was actually really, really cool. Like the drawing, like the art, that was, very well thought of. And I mean, the character build, the sister and her brother, Oya, and I already forgot his name. Wow, I'm terrible. What is it, Anton or something like that? Or I know she called him Tony, but I think it was Anton. So we'll just say Tony, yeah. But it's very interesting. Like, you know, I definitely think I would, you know, want to play the rest of the episodes to see what happens next. But yeah, you guys, that was Tiny Bunny, the prologue. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I definitely will, you know, look into buying the rest of it so I can see how it ends. A very interesting story. I want to see if this is all just their imagination or part of like just growing up. Either way, definitely on my list to play again for sure. Well, I really hope that you all enjoyed this. I surely did, and I look forward to many more games with you guys. Again, I appreciate all you lovely little Zeds of mine for watching, and you know, if you don't mind, you could hit and like that subscribe button. Like and subscribe, as they like to say. At the end of the day, we're just playing for fun, you know? Life's too short not to have some fun. So, yeah. Alrighty, well, this is it. You guys have a great night. Thank you.